Hey guys, how you doing tonight? This is Bear with Bear's Den Acrylic Art, back with another painting video. So tonight we are going to continue working on this series of 16 by 20 kind of Japanese Buddhism trees, Enso Circle kind of series that I'm doing that I've been having a lot of fun exploring. And tonight I want to do my favorite tree, which is the Sakura Cherry Blossom. I lived in DC for 20 years or so, and the Cherry Blossom Festival, got it right on my arm. It's one of my favorites, so it's fitting. So I've got some pretty cool colors for the background, some teals and some turquoises, and just a bevy of pinks for the tree. So let's get to work. So here we are with our 12 by 16. All right, we're doing all of our usual things. So the edges of the tape are sealed with gloss gel. We have moistened the canvas and just distributing it just to kind of saturate it, help the paint move, help it blend. So because this is going to be for cherry blossoms, I want to do a really bold background. Very similar to the last one. So instead of black to red, we're going to do like cobalt turquoise up through teal and like zinc white, just to try and blend it out. And then we're going to do a moon with more of like, or a sun rather, with a different kind of burst pattern. And we're going to use some rose gold in there. And I think it's going to look pretty dynamite. So let's get to work, shall we? So this little guy, it's Amsterdam titanium white. I got this little guy on clearance at Michael's for $1. So $1 for an ounce of Amsterdam paint. Don't mind if I do. This is Golden's Teal. Okay, it's a beautiful aqua opaque going down the line, Golden's Cobalt Turquoise. And then followed lastly, I don't have any heavy body, but this is Golden's Phtalo Turquoise. Now this is the color I'm concerned about, only because it's transparent and I didn't paint my edges. So now we're going to come in with our wash brushes and we are going to start blending. I'm going to switch brushes a bunch of times.
I'm an expert at overthinking things that I shouldn't. You come across as a cool guy, someone who's the opposite. And all my friends are leaving, but I want to stay here. Can we just...
All right, so when this is dry, I am going to show you the stencil. It's going to be very similar. I want to try a different sunburst pattern, like I said, but we just got to wait for this to dry. So let's check back and see what it looks like then. All right, guys, so you can see I have my stencil pieces in place and they are adhered down with the gloss gel. So hopefully preventing any excess bleeding. Now, because everything that you see is actually going to be the sun's rays, so everything is going to be like a rose gold, gradiating out. But because the Folk Art Treasure Gold isn't opaque, when you're blending, doing multiple coats isn't exactly how it's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint the canvas titanium white, just to kind of give myself a clean slate, as it were, just to make sure that um, you know, the transparency doesn't work against this. So we're just painting everything white. Here we go.
Oh, we should just stay here. Maybe just for one more drink. I can't help.
So the next step, wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to show you the golds that we're going to use. All right, friends, so pardon the terrible lighting, but it'll get better once we start getting the color in. So what I have are, the colors are all pulled from the Treasure Art or Treasure Gold series from Folk Art and the Rose Gold. I have some mixed with the Antique Copper, as well as some mixed with the Golden's Iridescent Pearl. So we're going to start with the darkest along the edges, and we're just going to try and make this look like something it's supposed to. So here we go.
Same damn boat, it's never looked your way. And I've seen every ocean, but I've never seen a color blue into your eyes. Blue. Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little, piece by piece, until I'm complete.
That looks cool. So once this dries, all right, and again, the wash brush did all the work. The stencil part looks a little streaky, but the canvas is totally blended. Okay, so like I said, we're just going to let this dry, and next step is we're going to peel everything back.
Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little.
All right, guys, so through modern technology, we have traveled forward in time. The lines are super clean. I love this gradation out. I wanted to use the Antique Copper because it's got like a purpley kind of flash to it, and it's going to complement the pinks.
If you know who I am, when the night will fall, I'll haunt your dreams. Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little, piece by piece, until I'm complete. It will never be over. Complete. It will never be.
There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me, no one can guess what I came there to see. There's a sun in the sky, there's a cloud drifting by, all kinds of birds make you wish you could fly. And in the distance I see someone waving at me. I hope that it's you, but
All right, guys, for the tree, now that I have the trunk roughed in, or put in, I've got the Liquitex light pink, I've got Amsterdam light rose, and Liquitex rose pink. So the rose pink is going to be my deepest value. So we're just going to put him on first.
I guess it would be nice to belong in your arms. I hope you feel the same way too. There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me, no one can guess what I came there to see.
All right, guys, as you can see, after hours and hours of trying, this didn't work. So it's got a neat texture, which I'm kind of into, but I need to start over. So I painted over everything just with one coat of titanium white. It doesn't need to be super opaque. So what I'm going to try and do is go in with a couple different size fan brushes and see if we can't make this look less like an ice cream sundae and more like an actual tree. So this right here on this paper plate is a mixture of titanium white and Arteza Bordeaux red. And this is going to be my deepest tone. Guys, so I have my Enso Circle sketched in. It is like a wine stain almost, like when you put the glass down. I have in this corner the part where the tree kind of overlaps the circle. I did put down some masking fluid, and I've got some Amsterdam Carmine, which is a semi-opaque, and I'm going to paint the circle, and then I'm going to go over it with a couple different washes, and I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol just to give like a bubbly kind of effect. No idea if it's going to work, but we're going to see, so fingers crossed. Carmine going down first.
Your blood is in the water, and you go straight through my heart, through my heart.
basically I'm using it as paint. When it dries, it really gives a kind of dimensionality. It looks like liquid is sitting on the canvas. So we're gonna do probably a couple coats of this just to make sure. So let's get to work.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire.
All right, the first pass is done. It appears to be drying okay. I have no idea what this is going to look like. So fingers crossed, because we've gone too far to turn back. We can't take it back now. So let's check and see what this looks like when it is dry. All right, guys, so the first round is dried, and I'm sorry about the lighting change, but I wanted you to be able to see where all of the spots remain, where the coverage wasn't the best. So I am just going to give this another coat, let it dry. We'll see what it looks like then. In the interest of time, I just don't feel like editing it, so I'll see you when it's done. All right, guys, last bit of housekeeping before we're going to finish this. So I took off the masking fluid. I decided to sketch out the rest of the circle. I'm going to actually break the the border, and I'm going to bring the gold past, and then I'm going to do the drips from here. So we'll see how this goes. I'm probably going to have to remove the canvas from the easel, just because I don't want anything to drip yet. So we are just going to start with our inks. Now time for the drips. Here are the practically end results, okay? Practically because I still have a little bit of like touching up to do, like right there, that kind of thing. But overall, the drips turned out nice. Once they're dry, all that finish, it's going to be completely uniform, okay? Sorry about the shadows, but I like that I broke it out of the edges of the canvas. I might extend this a little bit more. I thought it was round, but now that I'm looking at it through the viewfinder, maybe not. But overall, the sheen is really good. I'm still trying to figure out what I can do about like this little, white bit. But, overall, friends, again, considering what an ordeal this was just to get it to this point, I'm definitely taking the win on this. I like it. So, thanks. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Boy, did we have to work for this. First time in my life I ever tried painting a tree and ended up painting ice cream. So, what are you going to do? But overall, I'm very happy with the finished product, so I hope you are too. Anyway, if you're new and you like what you see, please consider hitting the subscribe and hitting the thumbs up. That does help me out a lot. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified of when I upload new content. You can also please leave a comment. I love getting the feedback and any suggestions with alcohol inks and your experience with them with acrylics would be very helpful. yeah, so if you guys, if you're so inclined, you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at my art page under Bear's Den Acrylic Art. You can message me there if you see something you like, you're interested in talking about, or if you're interested in a commission, please hit me up. You can also email me directly at bearsdenacrylicart@gmail.com. All right, my friends, so thank you so much for joining me for this. Again, we had to work for it, but I'm pretty happy with how it went. So I'll see you back on the next one, guys. Bye.